pitch. His loop towards shortstop. Petroselli's back. He's got it. The Red Sox win. And he's pandemonium on the field.
Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show, brought to you each week by the National Sports Collectors Convention. Join us every Wednesday evening at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time and get the latest news from the greatest experts in the sports collectibles world. You can watch us on the Great American Collectibles Facebook page, as well as YouTube, or you can listen to us on Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, or any of your favorite podcast platforms. And now your hosts, award-winning sports collectibles author Tom Zappola and Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petroselli.
Well,
good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good night, whatever the hell. See, we really don't know.
good night, good evening.
Well, it's good evening. It's good evening because people are watching this on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
And for disclosure purposes only, it's Tuesday morning for us.
Well,
right?
it's Tuesday afternoon, but yeah.
Tuesday afternoon, that's right.
So
Matter of fact,
good morning to us and good evening to everybody else.
Tom Rico, our good friend from Destiny Family Office, is with us for the whole hour. We're going to be all over the place. First thing out of the gate, if you have a collection that's worth a few bucks and you don't listen to this guy, then all bets are off. Yeah, I mean, you just got to do it. You just got to do it.
You're foolish if you don't, in other words.
Absolutely. And Rico, you know something? With your collection, you should be dealing with him. Your collection is worth millions.
Yeah, right. 10 millions. Right? Oh, yeah, sure.
You've got a great collection.
Sure, he does. He absolutely does.
You know, I want to sell some stuff. I'll be honest with you. I want to
sell it to Louie and I.
Why don't you sell it? Find an auction house somewhere on the show.
Well, no.
You probably know a few, right?
Yeah. No, but I'm going to
sell it to Lou and I. Come on, give us a discount.
Get out of here. What are you kidding? A discount?
Give us a discount.
Yeah, right.
You know
I can't afford it, you know.
You know what my prized possession is? And in a moment of weakness, in front of you, I bought the damn thing. It cost me $2,000. I bought that game used woolen jersey from 1969 to 70 that you signed. Remember that? I bought it, and it was for a donation. I don't even know that.
Yeah, right. I remember.
It was signed when you bought it, or you signed it up?
No, it was signed when I bought it.
Yeah.
And
that's the old.
But I'm having that thing I kept, and then I bought the bat. I bought a signed bat. Signed by you, a gamer that we donated to the Little Smiles.
That's right. Yeah, we didn't get any money for it, but it was nice.
They got $1,000 for it.
Yeah.
I've got a Game 6 Top 68 where Rico hit the 2 homers, signed by Rico, that I got long before I met Rico, that I still have, and I have the bourbon bottle signed by Rico. So that's my prize.
You know what else I have? I have a beer mug signed by you. It's one of those. I don't know where the hell we got it. I think you gave it to me. It's like a beer stein that's clear glass, and you signed it.
Yeah. I should have sold it.
You probably went to a bar and had a drink and just had it.
Oh, we got all kinds of cool Rico stuff in this house.
He gave me a bottle of bourbon one Christmas, and both Rico signed it, and then Tom signed it and ruined the whole thing. So.
I don't remember that.
Oh my God!
All right, listen, we have a lot to talk about. Tom's in the house. Tom, right out of the gate, man.
Yeah.
Before we talk about your business model and what you do, let's talk about your collection.
Okay.
I mean, you have a very, very high registry set of 1952 Topps cards signed, correct?
That is correct.
How many cards do you have right now?
So there's 407 in the set, and I have 404.
Now,
I'm only missing 3, and believe it or not, between 2018 and 2022, I was at 17 for 4 straight years. I needed 17 cards.
So what are the 3 you're missing?
The 3 that I'm missing are Marv Throneberry, John Eulis, and John Benton.
Now, do they exist? Do we know if they exist?
So there's a Throneberry and a Eulis, both one in the PSA registry, both of which are pretty new. I know Heritage has got a big 50s collection that they've purchased, and I'm hoping that that those two are in that, so they'll come up for auction sometime soon. But I'm not sure if that's the case or not. The John Benton, I'm aware of an unauthenticated or an unslabbed Benton card that sold years ago, and I don't know where it went or who has it, but there's nothing on the PSA registry.
I mean, would it benefit to take a shot and, for instance, contact Marvelous Marv's family and just ask the question, hey, you happen to have a 52 Topps that he signed, and I'll pay you good money for it? Have you ever thought about that, contacting the family?
Crazy enough, Tom, that idea has never crossed my mind, and it's a great idea.
Really? I mean, are you kidding?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I would do, certainly, because I mean, like Robbery, he died probably within the last 15 years, maybe. I mean, he used to do the beer commercials, Lou, remember?
Yeah, that's why I thought I knew the name. Yeah.
Yes. So, I mean, I'm sure
Marvelous Marv.
Yeah, he's got kids that are still living, but they may have 552 Topps signed by him sitting in on a shelf somewhere.
Yeah.
If not, they can go back and sign one.
Otherwise, nowhere to be found.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So who's Benton?
Yeah, I have no idea. Who is that?
John Benton. Did you say John Benton, Tom?
John Benton.
Yeah.
Was he any good?
I don't know much about him either. Yeah, that's the fun of doing the signed set collections, because like a lot of us that started in collectibles as a kid, opening up packs of cards. I bought my first pack in 78. I didn't complete the set, but 79 I had this big initiative to get the entire set signed. And of course I used to like mow lawns and sell stuff at school, candy and stuff to get money to buy baseball cards. But my 1979 set, I needed Mario Soto was the last card that I needed. And I probably bought 2 frickin' boxes of wax packs, opening them up, searching for that Mario Soto card. And I get the same, exhilaration out of, getting an additional signed card towards my set. It's the same feeling.
Oh, yeah.
So the cards that are signed that you have, what percentage of them did you buy signed versus like, 1978, 79, 80, a lot of those guys were probably still alive. Did you take raw cards that weren't signed and get them signed by some of those players?
Absolutely. I mean, being born and raised in Florida,
yeah.
I started going to spring training games in the late 70s, mid 70s, actually. I think I told Rico this, the first game I ever saw was the Red Sox against the Phillies in Clearwater in 1975. And
yeah.
How did Rico do? Do you know how Rico
did? Make the trip. I didn't make the trip. I was too old. Me and Yaz.
Rick, did they used to do that to you guys? At the end of your career, did you still travel all the time, like in spring training? You would still do that?
Yeah. Yaz would stay home for the real long trips. We had some pretty long trips, but when we were in Winter Haven, Clearwater wasn't that far, so it wasn't too bad a trip. But no, those towards the end of spring training, most of the guys would make the trips. Everyone, because it's getting close. Everybody wants to get ready.
So at that point, and I'm sorry for digressing a little bit, but look, Rico, I never asked you this. At that point, like, where were you for the longest period of time? Was it Winter Haven during spring training? Like over the 13 years that you were there, where were you for the longest period? I know you were in Scottsdale for a while.
Scottsdale, Arizona. Yeah, I was there for 63, 4, and 5. Yeah, 3 years there, and then the rest of the time was Winter Haven.
So did you and Elsie rent a place, or did you own a place in Winter Haven?
No, we rented the place because we had the kids, and
okay.
Some of the guys stayed at the hotel, the New Rick's Hotel, which was about 150 years old. I hated to see the old Rick's. So when you put the water on to take a shower, cockroaches would come out.
Oh, God.
Be all over that. But anyway, yeah. But yeah, it was a good experience. Really was so.
Well, spring training's fun. I mean, as a player, I would assume it's a lot of fun. Certainly, as an enthusiast and a collector, it's a lot of fun. And going back to your question, Tom, I racked up. I start when I did my first couple spring training games. I'd get like one of the not the guides, but the scorecards signed. And then I just had this thing hit me, how cool would it be to have Rico's card and get Rico to sign it in person?
And that was a no-no at the time, Tom, right?
Yeah, kind of was.
Yeah.
But I built up a very large collection of, some 60s, but mostly 70s and then into the 80s of signed cards. And that's what prompted me, after I got out of college and started collecting again, to really focus on the signed cards.
I have a ton of signed cards, that were given to me by one of our good friends, Rico and myself, as a gift, because he did a little speculating and struck out. He gave me 25 signed Greg Jeffries cards that I have in my closet.
Yeah, the Mets struck out there too.
Exactly.
But Tom, it's a good idea for collectors to go to spring training. Tell you why? Because that was the happiest time of the year for the players. You go to spring training, especially if you were an established player. Right. You go, you enjoy. If you're from the north, it's cold. You go down to Florida. It's the weather's better, and the guys are in the best mood.
So you wouldn't just blow people off. You'd actually sign an autograph.
Usually it's signed. I don't know how it is now. It probably is a little tougher, but you never know. So if somebody wanted to go there, if they could afford to go down to see a couple of teams, I'd take a chance. Plus fans would come down every year with their families, husband and wives.
I mean, I can see that. It's a fun time.
It is.
Feel free to jump in here with a question.
Yeah. Well,
how many of the Red Sox team? Who's the signers and who wasn't? Who are the guys who had no way? They're not just not doing it.
During my years, Lou, it was pretty much maybe into the 70s, close to 75, 76. It was a little different. But most of the guys signed, everybody signed because, there was nothing like it's now. Yeah. It is now the industry, the way it's going. But so we're pretty much signed.
I think a lot of players now are hesitant to sign, even though they're making $1 gazillion. I still think they're hesitant to sign because of so many people taking those autographs and reselling them on.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Especially. I mean, I've gone to a lot of spring training games out in Boston, in Florida. And when you see an adult at spring training trying to get an autograph, players just walk right by them. It's pretty interesting. Tom, I want to switch gears a little bit because I want to talk about the business. And, you have what you call the collectibles scorecard. Can you explain that so people understand how they can use it?
Well, I think the best way to explain it, and I've talked about this on your show before, but is just to use myself as an example. And, I was going and evaluating my own estate plan, and, we've had a great run up in the value of collectibles and autographs and everything, really since COVID, but certainly even over the last 10 years. And I've always tracked everything on an Excel spreadsheet and tried to update it, as I saw different things selling that were similar to what I had. And bottom line is my collection started to become a significant in value and also a significant part of my overall estate. And as I was redoing my own personal documents, I realized that, I was in a situation that my family has not only no idea what I have, what it's worth, what to do with it, where to go, who to talk to, but they also don't care about it. My kids have no interest in my son has an interest in some of my rock and roll memorabilia collection, but neither of my kids have any interest in the sports memorabilia. I've got 2 granddaughters, so chances are they're not going to have an interest in it either. And, I just said to myself, if I don't make it home tomorrow, a collection that's very, very valuable if handled properly, would probably not get handled properly, and it would set, my family back by, a significant amount of money. So I started the process out of knowing what I know and being in the wealth management business and managing family offices. What would I do if I was advising somebody? And I did it on myself. And I used that to develop a scorecard that addresses 11 different areas that anybody that has really any collection that is significant, and it's all relative as to what's significant, but it provides a process of helping someone to, kind of check all the boxes. Do you have your stuff properly insured? Is it properly documented? Is all the authentication that goes with it available? Because as you know, that, the authentication makes a significant difference in valuation. Do you, are you updating the valuation? Do you have a plan for what to do with the collection? Like use Rico as an example. Rico, you just mentioned earlier, potentially selling some of your pieces, and I'm not sure if you were saying that seriously or not, but it's a real question.
Yeah.
As you get older, do I want to sell it and see what happens with it while I'm living, or do I want my family to take care of it when I pass? And we all know that, we just saw the Willie Mays auction come up. Pretty much everything from his career goes to auction within a year after him passing away, and that's pretty standard with a lot of athletes.
Oh, absolutely.
So
I want
Tom,
to ask you.
Go ahead, Rick. No, go ahead.
I want to ask you about people. Maybe what you recommend for people with smaller collections.
That's exactly what I was going to ask him.
See that? Well,
great minds think alike. I mean, like, not $1 million, Tom, but how about the guy that has $100,000 collection, or a $50,000 or a $200,000 collection? Can they use your scorecard?
See,
it's like I said, it's all relative.
Broke into my question.
Yeah, it was my question. It was up here first.
It's the valuation is all relative. So I think if somebody feels they have a significant collection, based on their own situation, and they want to have a methodology of at least checking to make sure all the things they should be doing to help ensure their collection is handled properly while living and at death, I think absolutely. And even if somebody has, I had $100,000 collection at one point, and now it's significantly more than that. But having a process in place for how to handle your collectibles, I think makes sense for anybody. Whether it's a scorecard or anything else.
In your experience, Tom, is there a methodology like you would have in finances where you could go to somebody who would take care of the collection for the family? They have no interest, but maybe you've pre-set up your collection with a collector or an auction house or something, and there's a whole package there just sitting for your family to take advantage of after you pass. Just go talk to this guy; he's got you covered.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, and that's something that we've actually helped a couple of people with over the past year. But I don't think there's a lot of astute professionals that understand the various collectibles market that are doing that. It is available, but I think you have to uncover some rocks to find the right person to do that.
Yeah.
Tom, what about the whole authentication provenance concept is really important in the hobby. How important, in your estimation, is third-party grading and the authentication process of an item or a card?
Well, it's extremely important, and you can see the differences in valuations based on how significant the provenance is. Whether it's an autographed sports card, there's a huge difference between an ungraded or unslabbed autographed Rico Petrocelli card versus one that is slabbed and graded, and the autograph is authenticated. So that makes a huge difference. And then we saw what happened with the Babe Ruth jersey, I guess about a year ago now. Having the ability to photo match such a significant piece of memorabilia, that in my opinion, being able to have the certainty that jersey was used in that game during that year, during that World Series, I think that attributed to 50% of the ultimate sales price of that.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that.
Yeah. I want to ask you about AI, artificial intelligence. You think it has any significance on the or help, or just the opposite in the industry?
I mean, AI is here to stay, and yeah, I get a weekly, or no, I'm sorry, a daily AI newsletter, and the rapidness of what's happening in AI is just
It's
crazy.
mind-boggling.
It is.
Yeah.
It is mind-boggling.
I think AI as a generality has positives and negatives to it, and I think the positives is, especially for there's been a big transition of investors into the collectibles market, and I think having AI available to provide some data on various collectibles and what may or may not be worth more money, I think that's probably beneficial to somebody like that.
Can AI copy a card and make it look so authentic? And
that's a good question.
Would come up. That's what I'm
I think eventually, Rico. Yes, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. There's probably going to need to be adjustments that are made to ensure things like that don't happen.
Yeah.
The biggest area where I think AI could be a benefit, and I would love to see.
I tell you what,
is the grading.
I'll give you two examples. And I use AI quite a bit. I'm being honest with you. I like to dabble in the stock market, and now I go on. What's it called? Google. What's it called? Gemini. I'll go on Google Gemini and I'll say, is XYZ stock a good buy? Just ask the question. And the amount of information that comes out in 10 seconds, and then you do a deep dive, really, I'm not saying it really does become a good guide. And it's really blunt with you. This is a very volatile stock. Basically stay away from it, or this is how the projections look, all of that. And I do use that. And the same thing with buying a card. I mean, you can go on Google Gemini and say, is a 1958 Harman Killebrew PSA 8 a good buy? Boom. And they will spit out information that is just incredible. And it really can help you make a decision. Am I wrong, Tom? I mean,
no, you're 100% correct.
No.
Tom,
I think for somebody looking to invest, I think that can be beneficial. And then as I started, where I would really like to see AI make a difference is to help standardize grading of cards. Because
that's a great point.
There's still such a gap in grading.
It's
kind of a luck of the draw of who.
Yeah, there's discrepancies. I mean, there are so many discrepancies in that whole grading process. We have all seen it a million times. We say, wait a minute, how can this be a PSA 4 and this be a PSA 8? It's just, you're right. It really is. Lou, you had a question?
Tom, in Tom's example about the stock market, there's plenty of data out there for AI to mine to come up with the information that they pass on. Is there the same amount of data available in the industry that could help it out, that could make it reliable and a useful ticket at this point?
Well, there is. I mean, certainly not to the extent of the stock market, but all the auction house is public information, so all of that is publicly available. I mean, anything that's publicly available, AI is going to absorb all of that, and to Zap's point, within 3 seconds, you ask a question, and it's going to give you a solid answer. Doesn't mean it's right or wrong. Doesn't mean buying XYZ stock is going to pay off going forward, but it at least provides solid information to help make educated decisions.
I still want a human being.
Yeah,
that's
exactly it, Tom. About grading, there's going to be guys like Rico who are going to, and most of the guys our age are going to be that way. Tom and I aren't, because we're into AI. I love AI. I use it a lot. I'm a big fan of it. But a lot of guys are going to be reluctant to put their grading in the hands of AI. No, I want someone who knows what they're doing.
Yeah, but you know something, Lou? With all due respect to our dear friend, Mr. Petroselli, He's ancient. I mean, he's a fossil. And I'm not saying that sarcastically, Rico. What I'm saying is that whole generation. Really? No, that whole generation that's a little older than us.
That wasn't sarcastic. Don't worry.
That whole generation that's a little older than us.
Yeah, okay.
The old school guy. Yeah, right. You know why? Because
wait a minute.
I'll tell you why. Because you don't want to change. You don't want to change.
No, I want to change, but I want to make sure this thing is right on, as opposed to if I'm going to invest my money, I'm not going to go to AI. I'm going to go to Tom Rico. Well, are you kidding me? That's how I feel. I mean, now until
I don't make
until a move. AI is perfected or close to being effective. That's all.
I don't make a move, and I totally agree with
the
you,
world
Rico.
go round.
As I said, Louis, I mean, you use it as a tool. It's not gospel or the Bible, right?
Right. Yeah.
And that's what I do. I never, ever make any kind of a purchase, whether it be a stock or a baseball card, solely on the information that AI is giving me.
And Rico, to your point, I mean, if my knee's bothering me, I'm gonna go to AI and put in my symptoms and get feedback. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to go to a doctor.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, listen, we're going to take a quick break. Tom Rico is in the house. This is good. This is spirited. We like this. We're all over the place.
I know. Yeah.
The ancient fossil.
When we come back, it's called On Deck with the Ancient Fossil. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
Thank God the Ancient Fossil made it this far.
I'm Rebecca Curry, a two-time child cancer survivor, recipient, and advocate for Lucy's Love Bus. The mission of Lucy's Love Bus, 501c3 nonprofit, is to provide joy, comfort, and quality of life for the entire family of children with cancer. Since 2006, they have delivered love and comfort to over 3,000 children with cancer and their family members across New England. The dream of Lucy Grogan, an 11-year-old cancer patient, was to help kids with cancer who are suffering right now, before there is a cure, by offering free integrative therapies like art, music, horseback riding, and many other activities. Unfortunately, Lucy passed away, but her dream lives on, and today Lucy's Love Bus is thriving.
I'm Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petrocelli. I hope that you'll consider supporting Lucy's Love Bus and all of those children who have been stricken by cancer. The Great American Collectibles Show is partnering with Lucy's Love Bus to help these kids. Let's continue Lucy's dream. Please go to lucyslovebus.org for more information.
Since 1996, Brian Drent and the staff at Denver's Mile High Card Company have led the charge in the collectibles hobby. Mile High is a full-service dealer specializing in buying and selling cards and offers a competitive consignment program for all collectors. Whether it be their computerized want list service, appraisals, or auction services, Mile High has it all. If you've been searching for a company with a selection of high-grade vintage 1888 to 1970 baseball cards and memorabilia that shares your passion, aim high, Mile High. Go to milehighcardco.com or call 303-840-2784 for more information.
This is Brian Drent, president of Mile High Card Company. Is your sports card and memorabilia collection properly insured? For easily replaced personal property, homeowners insurance is all most people need. But for prized possessions that you may have spent a lifetime collecting, it doesn't go nearly far enough. Collectibles Insurance Services has been insuring for over 50 years. They offer a full range of protection and a $0 deductible at an affordable rate with no appraisals required. I know because they insure my collection. If you have a minute, go to collectinsure.com and learn more about insuring your personal card or memorabilia collection.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
How would you like to own the bat that was used by your favorite player when he hit that towering home run or game-winning base hit? Now look no further than JT Sports, specializing in the sale and authentication of professional game-used bats. As the official authenticators of professional model game-used bats for PSA DNA, JT Sports will guarantee the authenticity of any bat purchased from them. JT Sports also buys and sells game-worn uniforms, gloves, and baseball equipment. The unique quality of the collectible is what JT Sports is all about. Give them a call at 609-487-8003 or check them out at GameUseBats.com.
Okay, we are back, and Tom Ruggie's in the house with us. God,
Rico is not.
You know something, Lou? Look at this.
He's got a lot going on.
Rico.
Yeah, I was just looking around and
Look at his collection. What he wants to sell.
You think you could get back into the seat before we
I thought I timed it. To be honest with you, I went downstairs and I had a little something.
What did you have? I want to know, what did you have? What did you have for snack?
I had those crunchy things from Nature Valley or something like that.
Those little bars?
Yeah, they're supposed to be so healthy.
So why don't you bring them up?
I did.
Yeah, you did it at the commercial break. Why don't you bring them up before the show starts?
Look. Oh, they're falling out, all the crumbs. See, this is what I had. Nature Valley Crunchy.
And this advertisement brought to you by.
Yeah, I know. That's right.
All right, it's time. It's time for our segment On Deck with Rico, brought to us by our good friend Brian Dwyer and the great staff at REA Auctions. Don't forget to get your bid in by going to robertedwardauctions.com. That's Robert Edward Auctions for extraordinary results and extraordinary service. Rico, submitted by Chris Salmons and about 4 million other people. Was the Ohtani performance the other night the greatest single game performance in the history of Major League Baseball?
Well, I would say so, yeah. Since he pitched, it's 3 home runs. Yeah, the guy, they were pitching him tough until that day. He was chasing.
He had 10 Ks too. He struck out 10.
Yeah. I mean, well, as a pitcher, yeah, but I mean, as a hitter, he was struggling. He chases everything. I mean, he was swinging and everything, but this time he got pitches to hit, and he's so strong.
I mean, what a performance! And I did a little dive into Babe Ruth, and when Babe Ruth pitched, it was the dead ball era. So I think he had 1 home run and pitched in the same game, but I couldn't find anyone that came close to that. Lou, I mean, you're a baseball guy. Talk to us.
That game, single game. I mean, there's no
single game.
There's no dispute. And I'll go further. Ohtani is the best player there ever was. The argument's over. I mean, the argument is just over. I don't understand. Vintage, modern Ohtani is the greatest there ever was. It's simple.
Well, why do you say that?
I don't know if I get that.
Yeah, I'm not sure I can agree with that. But support your theory there.
First 50-50 season, MVP. He pitches, of course, he's been hurt, but he pitches, and when he pitches he's a top 10 pitcher when he's healthy. He's a Cy Young candidate when he's healthy. He's never going to win a Cy Young because he's going to win so many MVPs. Hey, give me a player. Give me another player that's comparable to that.
What's his lifetime OPS? Do we know? I don't know off the top of my head.
Well, fact that he pitches also is, I mean, who can compare to him?
Well, Gary Peters.
Gary Pete. I hit my first home run off Gary.
Did you really?
Away. Yeah, upper deck.
He was a pretty good hitter,
I think it
too.
went about 520
Earl Wilson.
feet.
Earl Wilson was a good hitter, right?
Yeah, but this guy
I'm kidding.
this guy. I know this guy.
I don't know if I would say the greatest of all time. I mean, I would put him in probably the top 10, but I know who knows.
Well, I mean, he gets credence because he is such a great pitcher and also a great hitter. But the stat that I always think about when I think of the greatest of all time, because it's again, you're talking about relative time periods, so it's tough to compare 2025 versus 1925. But the stat that I always think about is the fact that Babe Ruth in certain years hit more home runs than entire teams.
Yeah,
and that's imagine that happening today. I mean, it couldn't happen today.
Well, let's talk about that. How many career home runs does Ohtani have? Does he have a little over 300? I would think.
I asked Siri.
I don't know.
I mean, he's 33 years old now, so I mean, I think it's going to be a shot for him to get to 400. Well, he'll get to 400, but maybe 450. But I mean, he's certainly not the greatest home run hitter that ever lived. Greatest batter that pitched, absolutely, no doubt. Defensively, I don't think he's a Gold Glover. He's adequate defensively, but who knows? There's definitely an argument for it, I would think, Lou.
Well,
he's an amazing ball player. Certainly the best.
How many?
Today. And I do agree.
280.
With Rico that was the best one-game performance in the history.
There's no 280, Louis. But something, you have it in front of you. How old was he when he broke in? Because he had played for quite a while in Japan, correct?
2018, and he was 23. So
he was 23 when he broke in. So
probably smart.
Yeah. All right. Listen, Tom, I do have a question. I want to talk about. We've talked about it a lot on this show. I have a real problem with it, and a lot of people disagree with me. Manufactured rarities, I think, are getting out of control in the hobby. It's become a money grab, in my opinion, for the manufacturers. And if they can create one of something and make a buck out of it, that's what they're doing now. And I think a lot of the modern and ultra modern collectors are falling for it. What do you think?
I 100% agree with you across the board. I think to those of us that have been collecting for a long time, would I rather have, being an autograph collector, would I rather have a signed 33 or 34 Babe Ruth Gowdy versus a 1-of-1 Jordan Kobe Bryant card? I mean, to me, there's absolutely no comparison for that. But I think the positive things is that it does bring a larger audience to the collectibles market.
Well, hold on there. Let me ask you this question. I don't want to interrupt, but and Rico disagrees with me on this one, I believe, but it's bringing a whole new set of eyes and ears into the hobby. But are they hobbyists or just investors? Are they interested in the love of the hobby, or do they just want to flip a card?
It's probably a little bit of both. But I still, it's kind of like, me doing my football elimination thing. So now I track football an awful lot more than I would have otherwise, because I have skin in the game for what happens. So I think, it's like all marketing is good marketing. But long-term, what happens, we'll see. I mean, I was shocked to see Kevin O'Leary being one of the investors that paid that much for that card. And, Kevin obviously is an extremely astute, smart person. And, perhaps he knows something that, I don't know when it comes to this, but again, I would have never paid that much for that card. And to your point, Tom, the fact that every single year or every single month, a new one-of-one product can be developed on an ongoing basis. Where does that end?
Well, who authenticated? Who authenticated
TSA.
that card?
PSA?
PSA did. Okay.
Yeah. But you go on Sports Collectors Daily, and there's a section called new releases. I don't know if you've ever seen it. Every single week, there's a new release coming out by either Panini or whoever, Topps, or Foot, one of one. It's just, I think it's so out of hand. Lou, what are your thoughts? I know you're not a card collector, but you've seen it. You see it. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I get a little reluctant at this problem about being just a collector for the love of collectors. What percentage, Tom, what percentage of the hobby do you think is collectors who are just in it for the love of collecting?
I think at the vintage level, Lou, 80%. At the vintage level, people, that's
80%.
I would say 80%. 80% of the people that collect vintage cards, 20s, 30s, 40s, T206s, I think those people are in it for the love of the hobby. Really do. It's a passion. It's like I don't know, any hobby, like a real hobby. I think that at the other end of the spectrum, the modern to ultra modern, I'd say maybe 50%.
Do you have a number, Tom, on how Tom Zappler? Do you have a number on how valuable your collection is?
Me personally?
Yep.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell me the number. Do you have it?
Oh yeah.
So it's not just about love of the hobby.
No, absolutely. Yeah. No, I never said it was just the love of the hobby, but as you know, Lou, when I started collecting T206 cards, I was collecting T206 cards. I didn't care about the values. I was collecting raw cards and just accumulating them.
Right.
So point being is there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. And here's the difference to answer your question. There's nothing wrong with knowing the value of your cards, but if you know the value of your card and you own the card for 3 weeks and then you flip it, that tells you something. I've had my cards for 20 years, 25 years.
I would add to that. I think even as a passionate collector, I think it would be foolish to have, to be purchasing for a collection without paying attention to not only the valuation, but the potential future valuation. I mean, even as a kid and at 11 years old, I go back to mowing the lawn. If I had $20, there used to be a magazine called Baseball Card Magazine, and I'd buy from Kit Young, who's still active in the market. But I'd have $20 and I'd be like, okay, do I want a 1968 rookie Johnny Bench that's in mint condition for $12, or do I want a 1958 Willie Mays that's not a rookie, for $16 that's in mint condition? And I was always, even at a young age, evaluating it from, hey, I'm passionate about the collecting, but I still want the value of my collection.
I would totally agree with that. Rick, let's use Rico as an example. Wait a minute. I'm using you as an example. That card that you have that's signed by Rico, Lou, right? How long have you had that card?
Oh, since I was in my 20s, so 30 odd years.
Why do you have it?
Because I love it.
Why do you love it?
Because Rico was one of my favorite players as a kid. And
you're making my point. So if that card, let me ask you this question.
That doesn't prevent me tomorrow from buying a Rico Petrocelli card, a one-off that I think I might be able to flip in a couple of weeks for $1,000 more or whatever.
Right.
Well,
I think both
times have changed, Tom. Times have changed. I got a question for Tom, Ruggie. For someone, because we have millions of hobbyists, people in the hobby that are watching and listening. Most of my family. Tom, for someone entering the hobby,
not watching.
For someone entering the hobby today with an investment mindset, like we were talking about, what are the top 3 mistakes to avoid for those people?
Well, that's a damn good. Someone must have written that question for you, because you certainly did it.
I would. My answer would be akin to the same thing with investing. Period. Whether stocks or whatever. I think the top mistakes being made is do you buy low and sell high, or do you buy high and sell low? And I think a lot of people in the stock market, and I think a lot of people in the collectibles market, tend to buy high when everything's looking great and it's at its peak, and then if they're looking to turn around and flip it, it may not look so good. So that's number one. Number two is diversification. I'm like Zap. I'm not a big current collector, but if I were somebody that was wanting to buy some Panini 101s, I would want to have a diversified portfolio of my collectibles investments with some vintage in it, some autographs, some game use stuff, whatever. Again, diversification would be a good recommendation. And then I think the third thing I'd say is understanding the difference between what I would call, using the stock analogy, what I would call blue chip stocks versus penny stocks. And to me, blue chip stocks are vintage. Long term, you are never going to do bad with Babe Ruth, with Mickey Mantle, with even Michael Jordan, which I wouldn't call extreme vintage, but certain athletes you're not going to do bad long term. But penny stocks is gambling on somebody that's current today. Maybe not an Ohtani at this point, because even if he got injured, God forbid he got injured tomorrow and never played again, he's made a mark. But somebody that plays for 2, 3, 4 years and either gets injured or just doesn't live up to expectations, and yet you spend a lot of money on them, such as the 25 signed cards you have of Greg Jeffries, Tom. That's gambling.
And I couldn't agree with you more. I look at Ohtani is like a NVIDIA. Let's look at it that way. A modern stock that's really solid stock and doing well. But then there are a lot of other players that are $4 stock that's volatile. It's you can go either way.
But the thing is, on vintage, there's so many fewer people that can afford the prices.
That's not true, Rick.
Well, no. Well, I mean, not as many as
you can buy. You can still buy a low end or even a mid-range, mid-grade 33 Gaudi T205. You can pick up a T206 card for $35.
Okay, see all the people listening, the collectors are listening. That's great advice. Both of you.
I mean, you don't have to listen. We've always called it the 80-20 rule.
Yeah.
80% of the collector world can't afford to buy a 33 Gaudi PSA 7. They may be able to afford a 1, or they may not even be able to afford a 1, but be able to afford a Rogers Hornsby 1.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all. All right, listen.
And also, you can always upgrade. I mean, I
absolutely.
I'm in the signed card world, but I mean, I just bought a 74 Fisk signed that is graded a 9, and I'm like, I love being able to upgrade from a 5 to a 9 on a card that I love.
Sure.
All right, listen, I want to talk about our good friend Charlie Perino and JRI Cards. If you want to have an absolute blast at obtaining some great modern and vintage cards, you got to check out JRI Cards. Our paisan, Charlie, the Iron Ripper Perino, I just spoke to him this morning, Rico. He sends his best. Along with Money Marco, the Dollar Girls, and the JRI gang, give you the chance to participate in opening a graded, unopened, and sealed fresh wax or cello pack. It's easy. You buy in, Charlie opens the pack, and you get a pack fresh card. It's that simple. And as a matter of fact, if you pull that special jewel, the guys at JRA will even have it graded for you.
JR what? JR what?
JRA.
No, you said IRA.
JRA, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Featured in the LA Times, ESPN, and USA Radio, JRI is the hottest card pulling show on the internet. Charlie and his staff make it fun, entertaining, and enjoyable. That's JRI Cards. Check out their exclusive breaks and events that everyone is talking about. They're always digging up cardboard treasures. For a great hobby experience, go to JRI.com. We love Charlie. Charlie's a good man.
Great guy.
Charlie's a good man. All right, listen, I think we're going to take a break now. Louis, you ready to pull the whistle here? We'll take a break, and when we come back, we have one final segment with our good friend Tom Ruggie. Hang in there, and we shall return. Rico, be back on time, please.
I am not moving. I'm not moving from this chair.
All right, very good. We'll be right back.
Wait, I got to go to the bathroom. Hold
on. I'm Rebecca Curry, a two-time child cancer survivor, recipient, and advocate for Lucy's Love Bus. The mission of Lucy's Love Bus, 501c3 nonprofit, is to provide joy, comfort, and quality of life for the entire family of children with cancer. Since 2006, they have delivered love and comfort to over 3,000 children with cancer and their family members across New England. The dream of Lucy Grogan, an 11-year-old cancer patient, was to help kids with cancer who are suffering right now, before there is a cure, by offering free, integrative therapies like art, music, horseback riding, and many other activities. Unfortunately, Lucy passed away, but her dream lives on, and today Lucy's Love Bus is thriving.
I'm Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petroselli. I hope that you'll consider supporting Lucy's Love Bus and all of those children who have been stricken by cancer. The Great American Collectibles Show is partnering with Lucy's Love Bus to help these kids. Let's continue Lucy's dream. Please go to lucyslovebus.org for more information.
Pristine Auction is a family-owned and operated online auction specializing in autographed memorabilia, sports cards, coins, art, and collectibles. Since their founding in 2010, they've grown to 2 facilities in Phoenix, Arizona, totaling over 60,000 square feet. Jared Cavalier and an incredible staff of over 150 team members serve a very large customer base and enjoy every minute of it. By working with leading authentication companies, Pristine ensures all items are 100% authentic. In addition, third-party authenticators regularly travel to Pristine Auction to provide authentication services on site. Pristine Auction strives to operate its business in a way that's honoring to God, their families, and their customers. With a strong focus on speed, quality, and premier customer service, their mission is to be the leading online auction for every level of collector and fan. Pristine also works for Hope Sports and Identity Hoops International, traveling to Mexico to build houses for the less fortunate. Pristine Auction offers several online auction formats with thousands of auctions ending each day. For more information, go to pristineauction.com. That's Pristine Auction, the best in the business.
If you're a discerning collector interested in owning the most important pieces in the hobby, look no further than Leland's Auctions. The original sports auction and appraisal house, Leland's was established in 1985 by legendary Pioneer founder Joshua Leland Evans. And today, President Mike Hefner carries on the tradition. From the Tom Brady card and memorabilia collection to the famed Boston Garden auction to high-end card auctions from every major sport, Leland's has always maintained the highest standards. Go to Lelands.com and get your bid in. That's Leland's, the hobby's leading sports auction house for 4 decades.
It's often been said that championships are won on the practice field, and world records come only to those willing to work harder than everybody else. Heritage Auctions is the world's largest collectibles auctioneer because we believe that becoming the best is only an invitation to the challenge of remaining the best. This requires the skills of the hobby's top experts, capable of identifying and maximizing value for our consigners. It requires the most visited website in the industry, courting a global audience of collectors over 1.5 million strong. It requires a dedicated press department that expands our global reach far beyond the entrenched hobby marketplace. It's hard work, but a simple premise. Present the finest collectibles to the largest population of potential buyers, and world records will come. We invite all listeners to put the unmatched power of Heritage Auctions to work for you. Auction evaluations are always free, and our commission-based fee structure ensures that our interests are always aligned. Highest possible price for your collectibles. There will always be new world records to chase, so let's chase them together. Visit our website at ha.com and request your no-obligation review today.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
Are you a collector looking for that rare trading card or autographed ball or photo? If so, then PB Collectibles in Newport is the place for you. PB Collectibles has graded cards, raw cards, complete sets, and wax boxes of the stars of the future, today, and from the past. We also offer a large selection of both vintage and modern cards. So whether you're looking to add to your collection or sell it, visit us at PB Collectibles, 269 Spring Street in Newport, located across from St. Mary's Church. We are your neighborhood card shop and much more.
Hey, I'm Mike Petroselli. If your company is looking for the best in marketing and promotional items, you'll hit a home run with Petroselli Marketing. With over 8,000 suppliers and 650,000 imprint-ready items, we can get your company the visibility it needs to get your maximum exposure. Whether it be office promotions, wearables, automotive, sports items, and everything in between, Petroselli Marketing can do it all. Our design staff will even work with you from concept to delivery and customize your products. At Petroselli Marketing Group, we will get your brand in front of your audience. Contact us at info@petrosellimkt.com or call us at 603-880-3202. That's Petroselli Marketing, where no dream is impossible.
That's right. Yeah, go to the website. That's go to his website, right, Tom? I mean, they got a ton of stuff there. They do
tons of
embroidery.
stuff. But
Yeah.
look at Lou's jersey, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Michael finally got around and shipped Lou Blassie the Great American Collectibles jersey, as I have mine.
And
Lou,
I got
how does it
pens,
fit?
and I get a charger, and I get all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, see, Rico,
we wear our stuff. Some
First
guys
of all,
don't wear their stuff.
Now you got to move your camera, Rick, because we just
Again?
see your chin. Yeah. So Rico, Michael sent. I mean, not that I'm complaining, but Lou got a bunch of swag along with the jerseys. He got some. What'd you get, Lou?
I got a charger, and I got some pens, and I got some notebooks, and I got another T-shirt with the catch and 67 on the back of it, saying promotion is pandemonium. And
yeah, that's
now
right.
just out of curiosity, Rico, when I got my jerseys, I got one pen with the jersey.
One second. He didn't. When you got that, he didn't have the other stuff. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have the shirt and all that. He made those up.
Well, what about a makeup call?
What makeup? He doesn't sell makeup.
No, I said, what about a wake-up call? I mean, maybe he could send me that stuff now.
All right, I'll talk to him about it. See if he can.
Yeah, you talk to him.
No,
Sure.
yeah, Will.
Yeah, all right.
Anyway.
All right, so let's get back to Tom Ruggie from
Yes.
Destiny Family Office. Tom, one of the questions that we wanted to ask you, and I want to get your opinion on this, the hobby. What direction is the hobby trending when it comes to cards versus memorabilia? I have some personal thoughts on that. I wanted to get yours.
You probably have a better gauge on that than I do, because I focus on 2 or 3 little niche areas within the hobby, so I pay little to no attention to what's going on, especially with
the memorabilia side.
Yeah, newer stuff. So
yeah, I've kind of liquidated pretty much my entire card collection, gravitating over the last couple of years to memorabilia. But you have signed cards, so that card was touched by the player. And that's what I kind of like with the memorabilia, that the DNA is on it. You know what I mean? Whether it be a signed ball, signed bat, a jersey, or a Type 1 photo even, I kind of like the idea that there's a good possibility the player actually handled it.
What years, Tom? What years are you talking about? You're talking about vintage?
Yeah, I mean, like
because the modern these guys playing now, especially, they don't want to sign it, right?
I know,
Tom,
that's a good point. I mean, you have to buy it. You have to pay big money for it. You're right.
Well, and plus they signed so much, and not that like somebody like Babe Ruth and Mickey Mantle didn't sign that much, but it's definitely different now. I will say I bought a game used Ohtani jersey from when he was with the Angels, and he hit a home run in the jersey, and of course now that's all authenticated like on the spot by MLB. So, but I'll also tell you, I bought that. We talk about the investment mind. I bought that understanding that it may not end up being the best investment in the world, which it may be, but I like him so much that I just really wanted that piece in my collection. But Tom, going back to your point, on the commercial break, there was a segment that came up from Leland's, and it showed the Tom Brady card that sold for I think $3.2 million,
and that was several years ago.
And then it showed the Tom Brady, the actual football from his first touchdown pass, and that sold for $400,000. I personally would much rather have that football from the very first touchdown pass that he threw in my collection than the sports card.
Than a signed card. I couldn't agree.
Not to put down cards, but there's this visceral thing about memorabilia. Tom, when we did the signing for the T206 book at the Garden for the Sports Museum, I forget the guest we had with us, but he had the two checks.
Adam Cohen. It was Adam Cohen.
He had the two checks that the Yankees wrote for Babe Ruth, signed by Jacob Rupert and Harry Frazee.
That was so cool to be right next to those.
And having those checks actually in your hand, there's a certain magic to it because it's just history.
So right, man. We were that was the best part of that whole signing. You and I weren't even concerned with signing books, but the fact that he handed us those checks, and they were the checks that Rupert, Rupert Murdoch, that Rupert signed in the whole transaction. That was a blast. And the same thing, Rico, with you and I when we were at the Heritage exhibit at the National with the called shot jersey. I mean, that was cool, man. That was really cool.
It was great. But I want to ask.
But you know what? But what we're talking about is the differential between a passionate collector versus strictly the investment collector.
Absolutely.
Because again, we're passionate about it. So the thought of having trunks that were worn by Muhammad Ali, or having a bat that Rico Petrocelli hit a home run with, or whatever, that drives the enthusiasm for passionate collectors versus somebody that's really looking at this purely through the investment lens.
A very, very important question. All you guys, what's your opinion? No, wait a minute. Give me a chance. We got time. The players, right? Now, the manufacturers are manufacturing all these cards. You think the players can, I don't know, sue or go to court over wanting to get a piece of the action?
They are getting a piece of the action.
From these cards?
Absolutely. Rico, there is not one player that is not getting paid by a card manufacturer. Not one.
I didn't know that. Really?
Whether it be $100 or $20 million, they all have deals signed. Am I wrong, Tom?
I'm sure they all have deals. It does beg the question. If I were an upcoming baseball player or basketball player, and a one-on-one product of me gets put into a pack, and some lucky person opens that pack and then sells it for $1.5 million, as the player, it'd be like, well, I'd like to have a piece of that.
Exactly. Listen, Rico, that's just the way it works now. Tom, I do have a question.
Tom, I'm sorry, as a financial advisor, Drake May right now should he sign a deal with card companies for a lot of money, or should he just start signing footballs and jerseys and just packing them away and selling them himself when he becomes the superstar he's going to be?
Well, he may have already signed, though, Lou.
No, I know, but there's going to be additional contracts, I would imagine. But I imagine Shohei Ohtani, who, as I joked the other day, is trying to get by on $2 million a year now. That he's got a bunch of bats signed in his closet that he's going to retire on. These players are going to start doing it for themselves, aren't they? Because there's a lot of money involved.
Well, I mean, A-Rod did that forever and ever. I mean, I've never seen anybody in my collecting career who was marketing his own stuff as much as A-Rod was.
Yeah.
Barry Bonds might be a close second.
Unbelievable. Tom, you're an investment guy. You've got a wonderful, and by the way, before I forget, congratulations. You were just honored. Why don't you tell us about not to blow your own horn, but you were just, that was a pretty significant honor. Why don't you tell us about that?
Well, I appreciate that, and I'm not very good at blowing my own horn, but I'll give it a shot. So I was just named in June the Advisor of the Year nationally for alternative investments.
Wow!
And ironically, a large part of that is we do a lot of difficult to get private company type investments, such as some of the things we've mentioned here, but like Anthropic and XAI and things like that. But also a part of it is I've been on the speaking circuit for a while, and at this point have a pretty good demand to come in and speak on collectibles as an asset class, and I think that's also differentiated what I do in the business.
Now, so to piggyback with what you just said, I have a financial advisor. I've been using him for years and years and years. He's a dear friend, and he's actually very good. I've always tried to put the bug in his ear. I said, Bob, I know he's a fan. He's a passionate fan. As a matter of fact, his two sons are collectors. And I've always said, would you ever consider making this hobby, for instance, vintage cards, vintage memorabilia, part of making recommendations for people as to make it part of their portfolio? Would you be opposed to that, Tom? Should people consider, making their collections, blend it with their portfolio?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not ashamed to say this because our public investment portfolios have done very well over the last 10 years, but I would suggest that my collectibles portfolio has outperformed certainly the S&P 500 over the last 10 years.
As mine has too. And so why wouldn't a financial guy learn that part of the business and add it to his recommendations?
I think a couple of things. I think one, it goes back to the passion. If you're not passionate about it, it's tough to get interested. Two, it's difficult to get compensated for doing that, although it's certainly not impossible. And probably the most frank and candid answer is, as a generality, financial advisors are pretty lazy. You're getting paid, assets under management fee, and over the last 10 years, the S&P has gone up, on average, say 10% per year. You're getting a 10% increase in your salary on an annualized basis without doing any work. And I do not fall into this category, but I know a lot of advisors that are just kind of dumb, fat, and happy.
Interesting. Yeah. All right, Rico, why don't you tell us about our good friend Tom Finkelmeyer and the Finkelmeyer Insurance Company?
Yeah, I'd really like to do that. Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency has been insuring collectibles since the early 80s. The late Tom Finkelmeyer wrote the original sports memorabilia insurance policy when no one else in the industry was insuring sports collectibles. A lifelong collector of sports cards, Tom Sr. instilled a love of collecting in Tom Jr., the current president of Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency. Tom Finkelmeyer Jr., with 3 decades of insurance experience, has paired that expertise with 50 years of collecting, with a litany of professional designations, including counseling and risk management. Tom covers every aspect of your collectible insurance needs. Unlike some of the companies that sell collectible insurance directly to the consumer online, Finkelmeyer Agency is the only independent retail agent who specializes in sports memorabilia and collectibles nationwide, representing all major companies that sell collectible insurance. There's no agent that insures more collectors, dealers, appraisers, auctioneers, or events in the collectible hobby than Finkelmeyer Insurance. Our good friend and hobby legend John Tauby of JT Sports has been using Finkelmeyer Insurance for over 20 years. For more information, go to, I'll spell this out to you, THEFIA.com. That's Finkelmeyer Insurance, where collecting is our passion.
By the way, next week, Tom Finkelmeyer will be joining us on the show along with JP Cohen of Memory Lane. They're both going to spend an hour together. JP's been a 25-year customer, and we're going to talk about insurance. We're going to talk about valuable collectibles, all the good stuff that people want to hear. I think we're just about out of time. Lou, thanks for letting us. Lou always lets us run over a little bit.
No worries. Having fun.
Yeah, we do have a good time with it. Before we leave, CCS, baby, Central Catholic High School. We're hoping that my granddaughter, Lucy, her high school team is on the quest for the Division I state championship in the state of Massachusetts, and they have a hell of a shot. You
taught her everything she knows about it.
I don't know a damn thing about soccer, but all I know is that they are very talented. They're 13-1.
Wow.
And they have a good team, so they have a shot. So, Lucy, we're thinking about you guys, and
very cool.
Good luck. Tom, as always, man, we love having you. It's been a pleasure.
Tom, yeah.
You know, but I have a bone to pick with you, though, before we leave. So where the hell were you at the National? You just like disappeared.
No, I was there.
Well, I know that. We didn't see you. You didn't come up on stage. You had meetings. You like must have been straight out that day.
Yeah, and I was definitely making the rounds, and to boot, I've had a procedure on my knee, and my knee started blowing up on me, and I was putting like 18,000 steps a day on my Fitbit with a knee that was bugging me the whole time.
That'll do it.
But you know, I mean, several years ago, I could have gone to the National and had 100% of my time available, but I had a lot of people I was getting together with. I had some buying that I wanted to do if I could, find the right thing. So I was busy, but had a great time.
List, Tom, that's all. You just didn't.
I know you're right. Hey, by the way, the week after next, now that the AI basketball tournament pig is dead, we're going to be starting a new segment called another Crackerjack moment. We did those. Lou and I did them a long time ago, and people absolutely loved them. So we're going to be doing another Crackerjack moment starting the week after next, and we'll take you all to it. It's going to be a fun little segment. With that being said, Mr. Blasi, thank you for a wonderful job producing.
Good to see you.
Rico, I am thrilled that you got on time on the air.
Oh, yeah.
That your speakers work, your headset works, everything worked this weekend.
Well, my time at IT University paid off finally. Tom, great seeing you. Hopefully,
Rico, great seeing you.
We'll see you in Florida. No,
absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, Tom,
want help with that collection of yours.
Well, Rico and I, we may take a ride up to see you because Rico's on the East Coast this year with us. So we'll hook up at some point.
Yeah, we got to get together.
Would love
all right. With that being said, to our viewers and listeners, we love you guys. Thanks for all the support and happy collecting.